Hey there. A while ago, I did a video on my top 10 watchouts for buying property in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. And today I wanted to dive a little deeper into my number one watchout, which was zoning. So when you're buying property, you're obviously buying it because there's a certain thing you want to do, whether you're looking for a home, a second home, a camping site, a hunting site. There's things you want to do with this property. And unfortunately, this is regulated pretty highly by the area that you're in, whether it's the county or township or the city zoning. So it's very important to take a look at your zoning before you purchase a property to know what you can and cannot do. This could come down to whether you can have chickens, whether you can build a house, whether you can have a camper on there full time, um, and all kinds of things. If you want to have a business, the list goes on and on. So this is like the number one reason that you need to research your properties and understand what is allowed and what is not allowed. So, for example, I found this property here in Noggin, which is over by the Keweenaw. Beautiful property. It is got a lot of trees on it. Got some land, 8.55 acres for $30,000. It does sometimes tell you here what they think the zoning is. So here it says zoning residential. I would take that very lightheartedly and I would say to try and find the tax ID number. With the tax ID number, then you can call Noggin Township and make sure what zoning it is in, because a lot of times they just throw residential in there because that's probably the default. More times than I can count, the zoning has not been accurate, even on the property I purchased. So first thing would be to look at the county, and then this usually is the township or the town. And what I do is I go and I search. I have this in here. So I just searched Noggin County, Michigan, and you want to try and find like their county site, which is here. And if you're lucky enough, they have this GIS mapping system, which is what they use to show the plots of land. So if you go there, and I have this here, it'll show you. Now this does take some getting used to, but you want to go to the area you're looking for. So here's Noggin, and then that property was right on this curved road, and it was 855 acres. I believe it's this one. Let me check here. So this is 855 on Walsh Road, and this is also 855. So I can't be 100% for sure that this is the property, but it seems to be. So this will tell you who owns it, what their mailing address is. So these people are in Wisconsin. It gives you the legal description. This is where it would say something about an easement if somebody had legal access into, or if you were going across somebody else's, it might be listed in here. But this is a lot of degrees and whatever. That doesn't really mean a lot to the normal person, but something to watch out for is the terminology for easements. You can see when it was sold last and how much. I'm not sure the difference between record acres and GIS acres. And there's a place for zoning, it's not listed. And then over here, it gives you the parcel number. So this you can jot down and call the township and say you're wanting to know what the zoning is for this parcel, that you're looking to buy it, and to find out what they know about it. You can also call the health department and see if there's any record of any perk tests, septic systems, or anything on file for the property. Something that could be useful to you. Yeah. You can also change the view. So right now I'm on roads. It's easier to find, but you can also do aerial. So you can get a kind of a view of what the property looks like. Looks like there's a creek going through, which would be nice. Looks like a trail going right down the side. So you'd want to find out like what that trail's about. So the person, I'm always looking to see like, okay, so who lives on this property and how do they get to it, right? Like, are they coming through this guy's property or are they expecting to come through here? Because if I buy this, I don't want anybody coming through here. So I would be finding out like, is this a road or is that a ORV trail or something, right? There's so much to find out about property before you buy. But this is on a main road, so you would have access. You just would want to be careful to find out what this is. Is this an actual road? Another road? Do you want a road running down the whole side of your property? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But this will get you on the right track to find out your zoning with the tax ID number. And not all counties are going to let you get in this easy. This was pretty easy. I just searched the county and got the GIS map, and here I am. Sometimes the counties have like a PDF version of their zoning, and sometimes you might hit a dead end. You might not be able to get that parcel number, but you can always reach out to the realtor and tell them you're looking to find out more about the zoning and ask for the parcel number. Sometimes they list them out in the listing itself, like in this area. But yeah, for me, zoning is so important because you don't want to buy a property that you can't do anything with, right? If you're looking to buy a property to use for hunting and it's in a protected zone or something and you're not allowed to hunt, that would be a no-go. If you want to go park a camper and go up and spend the whole summer up there, but the zoning only allows you to be there 20 days a year in a camper, like that's not going to work for you. If you want to build a small 300 square foot cabin, maybe the zoning says you have to have a 700 square foot minimum cabin. So it really hinges, everything you're going to do with the land is down to zoning, and this is why this was my number one watch out. And I really encourage you to get to know the UP, know what you want to do. Every township, every city, every area is different. There's so many different townships in the UP. There's some that have no regulations and there's some that have a lot of regulations. It just really depends on the area and what township has in place. So do your research. You can definitely find zoning for different townships online by just typing, like I'm going to type Luce County, Michigan zoning. Whoops, I spelled it wrong. But here's their zoning and planning website. And on this site, I know they have it somewhere, but this will get you into the different, you can find the zoning on here. I know they have it. I'm not sure where at this moment, but they'll get you, here it is, zoning. So this one is old school scanned PDF, right? So you can't search it very well, but you can look and you can see, for the different types of zoning they have agriculture, residential, they have forestry, they have different zoning if you're by a stream or lake. There's all these different zones, and they have an old school map of what the zones are, but then they go through and they'll tell you, like, this is what the purpose is, this is what you can do. You can do any of this stuff without approval. And then they have things that you can do with approval. potentially, if you get approval. And they do that for every. So here's a residential retail district. And then they have an agriculture residential district. And they have different rules for different things, whether you can have chickens, whether you can have a camper on the property year round, or whether you can only have a camper if you're building. There's all these different little things that you need to know before you buy something. And I really, again, can't stress enough, like, you got to know this stuff. A lot of people going to the UP are doing different things. They're doing off-grid things, big plans. And if your zone doesn't let you do something and you start building, if you start building a building and it's not the right zone and you can't build it, you're just going to be out that money, because you'll have to either do something else with the property or try and sell it and find another one. So don't get stuck in the wrong zone. Really research it. Make sure, call and ask 100 questions. Write down everything they tell you. Think about it. Call back again and make sure, just to make sure, cover yourself to make sure you're getting what you want up front before you get locked in. So that was the number one watch out for property buying in the UP. And it was probably the thing that takes the longest to get over. My husband and I bought 116 acres in the UP, and I think we found probably 100 properties before we found the one we bought, but the zoning was wrong for us. So I did a bunch of research to find the property, to make sure it's what we wanted, then to find out the zoning was not right. So start with the zoning and save yourself some time, because it boils down to the zoning, I think, for me and for what we did. So I hope that's helpful, and I wish you luck in your search of property, and hope you find something soon, and we'll talk. Thanks. Bye.